Discard your worthless.
Trailblazers from the Astral Express, welcome to the Dreamscape sales store. Oh, please excuse me. I struggle to think of an appropriate way of addressing such as... I've already made the necessary preparations. Be careful, though. We did pass these. However, this Dreamscape will feature unveteran gamers. Call this type of dream a thrill dream. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. If you feel any discomfort, please leave the Dreamscape immediately. Luckily, I just so happen to be an excellent doctor. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. That elegant...
The nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the dream. In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough.
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties. You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happened, if we had a little more time, I could have even convinced her I was Shipe the Harmony. Then, on to the next order of business.
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time. You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you can don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Peniconia gets flipped upside...
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Peniconia. She's mixed me up with someone else. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter. That's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So...
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspected.
Oh... Seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari, best not to bother him. Guest experiences always have to come.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him, half of Peniconey will have been sent back.
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and Mr. Cold Feet. Why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all. Miss Black Swan.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite...
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim Shamari from the...
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case.
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died. My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before. They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided.
So the 3 of them teamed...
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be one murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers.
If you can't justify it, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have come up...
That actually...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues. I've got the case file right here. If you want to learn more about the suspect... Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Wright. Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed, while then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran. Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he...
Hang on, I'm confused here.
What? Where did you get that idea from?
That won't be necessary. I've memorized every detail.
No wonder you're a memo keeper.
Look, an ID card. Talent?
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape.
Holy moly! This hammer is...
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands. Is that all the evidence? How are we meant to solve this with so little? Oh, you scared me! When did you pop...
The 2 pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason, but there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who...
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then. Mr. What's this little device here?
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Why, Miss Sparkle also has her own button! The second she pushes...
That sounds like both buttons can do.
Correct! Exactly!
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
okay. What?
Because she...
This is What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express,
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a...
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and...
I see. Thank.
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
This notice seems like a hit.
That sounded like a story.
This is so her stuff. Doesn't look like there are any more clues.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? The Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? I remember this one best. Right has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there...
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in... So, remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident? Oh, is that so?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good. That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
So, who... I remember this one better. Oh, is that so? 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 So, who exactly is the Lefton? Oh, is that so?
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left. Lefton's suspicion level can be down.
By process of elimination, it seems that only...
Please begin your investigation. investigation, Lady Black.
The murderer. It...
You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must...
Huh? The next puzzle?
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try and avoid...
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories. Make a wish.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo! You finally made it!
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of...
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy...
Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
Huh. The skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed with...
Oh, for the last... Miss Sparkle, after a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see. There were 3 suspects on the scene. Namely...
Our old friend.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence...
You're too lazy to be a...
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you...
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You... Let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. It's very straight. First of all, is the shopkeeper, right? He's one of the Papashi people. Next up, you have the merchant, Lefton. He wants to join up with the Peniconia Trading Guild and is in direct... Finally, there is the gambler, Zhang. That's all the information we have.
That won't be necessary. I remember... And there's the
That skit before said that the deceased was...
The tag on the tie reads...
That's not how...
There's an accounting book lying on the ground.
On the title page...
This Jian Katong...
So, it's just like the first...
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a... a little stool that seems quite normal.
The footprints, which are half as big as standard, must be...
Perhaps it's just that this person's drawing skill. What's that smell?
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smell.
Somebody save me from this.
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor...
Have you dealt with many masked fools before?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories.
This...
Open it up.
There's a ring inside.
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth. We want to reconstruct the scene of the...
In the victim's...
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring. Jong? That should be it. Let's head out.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle this time is pretty strange.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seen, Detective.
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. Then go ahead. Who is the... Good. Then let us appreciate your pub. Have you... This guy, Zhongshan, is a card shark who used to play Get the Koi with Miss...
It doesn't. Looks like Miss Sparkle is more careful. This ring is...
That's right! What would a penniless wretch of a gambler like Zhongshan be doing at such a fancy fashion? He'd stolen Lefton's tie and was just about to get away when he saw Miss Sparkle. Who could have... What a tragedy! If it weren't for your...
Is something wrong here? This is too...
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff...
Correct, Detective Sampo!
Sheriff, the murderer is right!
Yes! For the laughter, how did I...
Dead. Right from the start, there was
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where...
I take it so seriously! Miss Sparkle is a masked anyway. Since our genius detective...
So that's it? This is just going...
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you that...
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now?
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo.
A murder in a locked room has left us all.
As expected.
Yesterday, the butler, Jean.
As soon as
The room was covered.
thinking quickly.
Besides us and Jean.
Presumably, why don't you skip
Wait up.
honest?
No
cheating.
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective.
No, it's this locked room murder case.
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting.
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up, wait up. Miss Sparkle has one final.
Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
There's no weird, sweet dreams troupe, nor is there evidence strewn all over the place.
Hey! Dear Memo Keeper and Mr. Coldfeet, you made it! I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. Alright. Miss Sparkle cares not. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the...
No murder case this time.
Sometimes it's nice.
Seeing as you're right here in front of me like this,
Womp womp. Wrong answer. The correct answer is... Sparkle! When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster. So is exhausted. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber-jabber?
what a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to cheat.
There's more. Every petal and all will be swept away by the wind. Eternal.
What do you want to know?
Ill fate descends.
Time for a shot.
Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Relax. Good times. Time to say bye. Boom.
Holy smokes! Huh? No voices?
Wait. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle! How is this possible? How can people die inside Penaconi's dreamscape? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Oh, I understand. You refused to let me...
There is no death inside Penaconi's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family. There's no need to take such great pains.
Miss...
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't...
This? Don't jump to... If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come.
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. The key to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no As for my second conclusion, the answer is simple. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tended to... And so, when he learned this, that's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the... Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away and was not the murderer.
What a pity. Such a pity. My dear. Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as... Sparkle's... Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a...
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all three of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady, I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having Uteka memories? And I get joy. We get what we need from each other. Seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Peniconie. If you're too late, if you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather the one who hired you to come to Peniconie probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces.
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch two fish...
So... You mean... Memo Keeper. Did you think you could just...
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find... Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is... Sampo?
This is Bellabog, right?
I I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory, so once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
What a special dream this has been. Did you notice it's nested struck? That's the end of Miss Black Swan's. I understand. The dreamscape is inherently different for all, but I also think Miss Black Swan must have her own reason for holding on to this dream bubble. I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. Things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone someone else.
Really? I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything. Shouldn't you give my mask back to me now?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting agreements? Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, third barrel on the left. You never saw me. But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? Let me guess. A catastrophe is coming to Eurelos.
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense. Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage and making a...
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. After all the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sempo can stand by. Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so seriously. Why so sweet.